Game 2 here, and Herald reappears on the board, but with a bunch of different companions. We have Dwarves, we have Minions, we have Hagglers, we have Golems, we have Procession, we have Advisors. We have a lot of good cards on the board right now. So Haggler looks particularly good here. That perhaps is what you should get on your first 5, especially if you could put it in play with at least 5 coin. I'm thinking to haggle something like buy Wolf Haggling Herald rather. The trashing is not here on this board, and there is some curses coming in from Soothsayer, so that's something you have to be wary of. My opponent opens with a Lighthouse, perhaps in anticipation of a Soothsayer. I'm going to open with 2 silvers instead, not the Lighthouse. I want the 2 silvers to get me up to 5 as reliably as possible. If I see my opponent going for a Soothsayer, I will get a Lighthouse. Otherwise, I don't really see a point in picking up a Lighthouse. So I'm going for the Haggler first up here, and Golem will be important in this kind of deck with no trashing. Also, you should try to stuff your deck with as many action cards as possible. So I'm going to do that right away here. Herald, if I don't get 5 here, I will pick up another silver or perhaps a Lighthouse. But I do get up to 5 here, and I'm going to go for the Haggler right away. So still no Soothsayer for my opponent. They actually had bad turns 3 and 4, picking up a couple of silvers only, and now they go for the Haggler on their turn 5. So a little bit later. And I pick up another Herald here. Haggler comes with 5 coins here, so I'm very happy to see that. It is easily going to be a Dwarf and a Herald for me, and I'm thinking about putting a potion into this deck very soon. I believe you could buy Golem and Haggler for course, which would be Herald or Advisor or something. I think the Herald is better than the Advisor here. With the lack of trashing, your Advisors can be kinda lackluster sometimes, revealing something like copper Dwarf, and then it's a trivial decision for your opponent to discard your Dwarf. The Herald doesn't run into that issue. Of course, the issue with the Herald is that it forcibly plays your actions for you, but I don't really see that being too much of a problem, except for when you put a Procession into your deck. By the way, when is a good time to play Procession, or to put a Procession into the deck? I did like when I put the potion into the deck. I feel like now is a decent time to pick up a Golem. And yeah, you see you can haggle a Herald off of the Golem, which is real nice. And I'm going to take another Herald with it, haggling a silver along the way. The Herald is well worth the silver, I believe. So Procession is something I thought about at the beginning of the game. Not a card I'm very good with, but there is a nice target on the board, even though the action chain isn't as big. There's only like 4s and 5s really. But using your Procession on something like a Herald or an Advisor to get a Dwarf, that's not bad at all. That's real good. So considering the Procession here, I really want to find it and put it on a Herald, but I felt like I couldn't guarantee doing that right now. So I decided to just pick up a Herald. So a word about my opponent's strategy so far. He's picked up a couple of Dwarves, he has the Haggler, but the key thing that I noticed was that he has a couple treasure troves in his deck right now. So it seems like he wants to play some kind of money strategy with the Dwarves and the Haggler. He has 2 Lighthouses, but his style of deck means that he can't reliably put those into play. So if I do decide to go after a Soothsayer, I will be able to fill up his deck with curses quite quickly. I'm not going to go after the Soothsayer. I'd rather just pick up Dwarves, especially here. I think I played all 4 of my Dwarves, so I'm not going to buy a Golem here, even though I have the opportunity to. Instead, I'm just going to buy 2 Dwarves and haggle a Procession finally and a Herald, and then we'll get a silver here haggling a Lighthouse along the way. Being able to draw my deck there gives me a lot of confidence that I can start to put a little bit extra money in the silver and the Lighthouse into my deck. So my opponent does go for a Province with 12 and 2 buys there, Province and silver I believe. So he's moving along with the provinces as planned anyway. Here I put the Procession on the Herald first before playing the Golem, because I do not want the Golem to draw into 2 terminals dead and have me just waste my entire turn. Pick up our Soothsayer off of the Procession gain because I want to start adding money into my deck. If I can draw everything, let's put some money into the deck and start to buy more and more things, especially with the Haggler. I felt like perhaps I should have added another Haggler at this point in the deck. I was quite happy to pick up Wolves, and I'm sure they're perfectly reasonable, but whether or not a second Haggler at this point or the turn before is more optimal, I can't really tell you. So I do empty the Wolves. I end up with a lot of those, maybe like 8 of the Wolves, and my opponent only has 2. That's commanding. That's very, very commanding. And only after the Wolves are finished do I pick up a second Haggler. Like I said, I'm not sure if that is entirely correct or not, but it is what I end up doing here. Either way, I think both options are stronger than what my opponent is doing. The just Wharf and Treasure Trove, big money kind of thing. He does have a couple of provinces now, but I have no problems with catching up to him on this turn. I'm able to buy a couple provinces, and I believe I haggle the remaining heralds. A nice thing that you could have done on this board, I considered it at one point, or a few points anyway, is that after you buy a few things, like say you buy a golem and a wharf, you can overpay for a herald to stick those things on top of your deck. Particularly the golem, sticking that on top of your deck is very, very nice. I don't end up ever making that play, but Herald's ability to top deck cards from your discard pile should never be neglected. It can be quite useful in decks that are full of junk, for example, and you really shouldn't sleep on it. So I'm not able to actually play all my terminals here, which means I will get the last few heralds. The heralds are where I get my actions from. Also, the golem could help with that. Procession could help with that. I don't pick up another procession. I'm quite content with the one, but again, perhaps 2 or 3 processions in the deck is better than what I'm doing here. Not sure. I'm not the greatest with procession. Another province and silver turn for my opponent here, but I look to be in decent shape to be able to end the game here with the amount of hagglers that I have in my deck. So I'm planning just to buy all the provinces. I know I have enough money to do that, and then I can haggle the remaining hagglers to do so. It's a trick that I learned from Mix Enoch. I'm not very good with haggler either. I feel he likes haggler a lot by his own words. He said that. And I've seen him, do nice things with Haggler, and this is one of them, using the Haggler to haggle the Hagglers to finish a game. So there you have it. This is game 2 here, just the engine strategy against the money strategy, really, and the engine coming out on top in this instance. I did have a lot of time, and the Haggler allowed me to build very quickly, and I had the time from the Soothsayer if I wanted to do so as well. Golems, I felt like were very important. I liked when I put the potion in the deck. That's the only thing really I liked, but aside from that, I can't say much more about the Hagglers or the Procession. Anyways, that is game 2 for you, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.